Welcome to the REKAP Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, here in the REKAP studios on this Tuesday post-Memorial Day. It's all brought to you by our 5 partners at Hooters. Go to originalhooters.com to visit one of the 11 Chicago land locations nearest you. Okay. All right, here we go. We put Memorial Day behind us. Still got the hoodies out. God, I think we can put, I think that we'll be allowed to take the hoodies off next weekend. I don't think we can really get rid of them just yet. Flipping calendar turns to June, folks. It's time to make a move. Speaking of making a move, the Cubs, a season high, 12 games over 500. Led me thinking, like, who is their best player? And I know a lot of people are just going to just jump to PCA. I know it. And matter of fact, I'm here. Yep. A lot of people jump into PCA, which I know right now, it makes sense. Kyle Tucker is still in the team photo here, folks. Kyle Tucker in the team photo. We're going to get to the comments, which are coming in at a feverish pace. I want to look at the 2 players right now side by side, which is what I planned on doing, because Kyle Tucker, I think in some ways, has made Pete Crow-Armstrong a little bit what he is. Now, Pete Crow-Armstrong is almost a 3-WAR player, an OPS plus of 145. The OPS plus of Kyle Tucker still stands right now at 159. The best. OD, can't stay today. Wanted to say great hit yesterday, Guff. We were aligned before you gave out the bets. Love how sports brings people together. Go Cubs, go. Yes, we will get to that a little bit later. We cashed a plus 130 parlay yesterday of Cubs run line, Mets money line. Both of those decided late, and it was cash. Becky, go Oklahoma City, just one more win. It was crazy. Minnesota led in about every category last night except scoreboard. And they lost the game and now find themselves down 3-1. Eric says to him, the best player right now has to be PCA. Even though Tucker and Seiya are right there, PCA is the most fun to watch on the Cubs this season. Most fun, different argument, not wrong. Most fun, it should be unanimous. And people, you might be going, Seiya Suzuki. Folks, Seiya Suzuki leads the majors in RBIs. You know who's number 2? Pete Crow-Armstrong. The Cubs have the number 1 and 2 RBI guys in all of baseball. Seiya, 14 homers, 49 RBI. Pete Crow-Armstrong, 14 homers, 48 RBI. The one knock on PCA, his chase rate's in the 40 percentile. He has 9 walks and a 310 on base percentage. It's literally the only thing, but it's something. It is something. Even Seiya's got a 333. But when you jump down to Kyle Tucker, who, by the way, is 11th in baseball in RBIs, who has more walks than strikeouts. Kyle Tucker has 7 more walks than Seiya and Pete Crow-Armstrong combined. He has 36 walks. Seiya and Armstrong have 29 combined. They combined for 115 strikeouts. Kyle Tucker, 31. 15 stolen bases for Kyle Tucker, 14 stolen bases for Pete Crow-Armstrong. OPS of 875 for Pete Crow. Kyle Tucker, 913. I'm still going with Kyle Tucker, and I that's fine. Eric and Becky saying hi. They should be able to get the game in tonight, tomorrow night. It's not supposed to rain tomorrow night, Becky. It's supposed to be here early in the day tomorrow, and then we're supposed to get out of here. So let's worry about today, and then tomorrow's a new day. Eric, if the Knicks don't win tonight, the series is basically over. But if they do somehow win tonight, I think the Eastern Conference Finals go 7. I think after game 1, this series deserves to go 7. But no home team has won a game in that series, which is very interesting. I wish they would do something to Brown and make him pitch better till Shota comes back. Becky, they put more work in the 5 days between starts than they do in the actual start. Trust me, they are working to make Ben Brown the dude. No lunch hour today. LC, we're here for you, man. We're right here, 12:30, Monday through Friday, every day. Pablo, thank goodness. The Thunder-Wolves series was a close game last night. I was getting tired of the blowouts. Now both series are exciting. Thanks for the show, Guff. Pablo, appreciate you. The real Phil Sims. There it is. I'm with Phil on this one. The best player is still Kyle Tucker. I think the stats even tell you that. Stop playing and pay the man now. I agree. Swayze says it's PCA followed by Tuck. I still think Kyle Tucker is the best player on the Cubs. Ira says PCA and Seiya Suzuki's RBI race can rival the Sammy Mark McGwire race of the 1990s. I don't know if it'll rival that, but just to give you guys a little bit of a taste as to where these two players are. Seiya Suzuki is on pace for 147. Here, listen to Seiya Suzuki, okay? I want to make sure I let you guys. He is on pace, Seiya Suzuki, for a 42 homer, 147 RBI, 45 double, 99 runs scored season. Like most times, that's getting you an MVP. Pete Crow Armstrong on pace for 42, 144, 123 runs scored. Folks, those are asinine numbers. Asinine. So maybe, Ira, you're onto something there. Dustin, Memorial Day had a whole new meaning for our family. Watched the Cubs win in the afternoon, honored our family members that served in the past, and then watched our 11-year-old son for, wow. Hang on for a second. Dustin, I want to. That is awesome. What a way to spend a Memorial Day. That's fantastic. You get the Cubs, then you actually go do stuff that matters. You honor your family members, and then your son goes out and throws a gem, a no-hitter on Memorial Day. That's pretty special, Dustin. I think it's going to be tough to comment or tough to top Dustin's comment right there. Absolutely incredible. And I don't want to butcher your last name. Is it the Reese family? Absolutely awesome. Eric, went to Hooters and Downers Grove, and I said my friend McGuffey has a tab. Eric, that's awesome. I think you still had to pay at the end, though, right? That's how my tab works. Drop the name. We should do some kind of thing, though. Let me talk to Hooters. Let me talk to Hooters and say that if you say you saw the REKAP Lunch Hour, you get 10% off your check. That's a good idea. I'm going to go to them, Eric, with that and see what they say. I think that has legs. Happy Tuesday, Guff. Sorry I missed yesterday's show. All good. If I had to order the three best Cubs player right now, Tucker, PCA, Seiya. I think that's my order too. But I don't think Seiya's getting the love he deserves. I just read that season is asinine he's on pace for. Eli, hello. Hope you had a good Jerusalem day yesterday. Phil, SGA showed why he's the MVP. Still sees the series going, really? You think the T-Wolves get two? See the Knicks evening the series tonight. I could see that happening too. Ira, perhaps the presence of Kyle Tucker and Justin Turner. Interesting take, because I don't think a lot of people are appreciating what Justin Turner is doing to PCA in the mentorship department, are helping prior season Cubs to improve their performance. I definitely think there's something there, Ira. Tuck will end up being better as the season goes to the dog days, but PCA is right now, says Swayze. Special thanks to all the veterans for all they have done and do for this great country. God bless them and all their families. Very well said, Kyle. Really cool yesterday. Does this team feel like 15? She's asking the year before they won the World Series. Really cool, Kyle. Yesterday, we had at least 5 veterans in here chime in, letting us know what branch of the armed forces that they served in. Really cool to see the love in the room yesterday. I just thought it was outstanding and kind of took my breath away at some point. So I appreciate all you guys who were here yesterday. I thought that was really cool. Phil, Carolina put their big boy pants on to save their season. Better show up tonight or tomorrow night to get back in the Rat Palace. Oilers handle business tonight. Yeah, it was pretty impressive performance by the Canes. I don't think they have enough to run the table here. Is the calf all healed up? And is that ball on its way to the DePaul Hall of Fame already? I'm confident they called up. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I have some pretty good bruising now in the bottom of my foot, like in my ankle area. So we're thinking the general thought is that the blood from the bruise has now settled into the foot. So it's still got some soreness, you know. But Pablo, we get up and we get back on the horse. Matthew, Nico with his defense and average with runners. And Matthew going outside the box with the best Cub right now. And I'll be honest with you. I think it's a good, this is a well-informed Cub fan right here. And you might go, Nico Horner. Let me bring up Nico Horner real quick. Nico Horner, who when you just look at the surface, you're like, I mean, okay. But let's dive deep into what our guy Matthew said. He said runners in scoring position. With runners in scoring position this year, Nico Horner is hitting .436 with a .995 OPS, 24 RBIs, 24 hits with 24 RBI. Matthew, great take. I know the numbers say it's PCA, but I'd take Tucker with the game on the line. By the way, Nico, vastly underrated. Back-to-back Nikos. I think the numbers, Terry, tell you Tucker's the best player. Hey, Breck, the Rockies won a game, just not yesterday. They're here in Chicago, lost 3-1 in a pitcher's duel. Jameson Taillon was perfect into the fifth. But the Rockies have won a game since the last time we saw Breck Bear in the chat, which still means they're on pace for 27. Saw that Caitlin Clark will miss the game against this guy. Wonder how many people will now be looking to sell their tickets. Wonder how many people will be looking to buy them. That game was moved to the United Center due to the demand. So that sucks, I think, for all the fans who bought tickets to see Caitlin Clark. Becky Breck is talking about since we've last been here. They smoked the yeah. So Breck and I have a diehard Yankee fan in our group, and we had fun with him on text on Friday. He didn't have as much fun with it, but he's a Yankee fan. So you know what? You have to take it. That the White Sox won the crochet trade. All four players will make the majors. Montgomery and Teal will be stars. I hope so. I'm not a big, I'm a believer that two teams can win a trade. We don't see it a lot. Most of the time, the team that trades the star ends up losing the trade because you're betting on prospects. But so far, from what we see, it looks like the White Sox have a very good return. Happy birthday to the great Hall of Famer, Pat Hughes, reporting. Pat Hughes, awesome. Great job, Becky, honoring Pat Hughes. Jess believes Ian Happ is the most underrated. Maybe we should do an underrated. Who's the underrated player? He has set up the batting order so Tucker, Suzuki, PCA, and Kelly shine. Also, I want Suzuki in the All-Star game. Even though Ohtani will be DH, I think it'd be really hard to leave Seiya Suzuki out of the game today. I really do. As we approach June 1, how do you leave the RBI leader in the major leagues off that? And he's not just an RBI leader. He is pretty damn good. So I'm with you, Jess. I think Ian Happ lengthens the lineup and allows that thing to go really deep. When you get down to 6 and 7, you're still dealing with Carson Kelly, sometimes PCA, who's moved back or moved near the top 4, but it lengthens that lineup. You have Dansby Swanson or Nico Horner hitting 6-7. It's crazy. My guy, Chef Paul, sloppy field for tomorrow, Guff. Pizza's on the line. Chef Paul talking about his grandson and my son going head-to-head tomorrow in a flag football playoff game that will determine some Chicago public school playoff seedings and champions and who goes on and who doesn't. It is supposed to rain tomorrow. Chef Paul, it is turf. That's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a wet ball drill. Okay, Chef Paul. Chef Paul, no more secrets here publicly on the show. Okay. I have to keep them to myself. You can hit me up on the side. I can see Tucker, Suzuki, PCA, Kelly, and Dansby in Atlanta in July. I could too. You got to look at the other shortstops because it's likely that somebody could get. It's likely that somebody could get, screwed, for lack of a better word. Ellie De La Cruz, I'm guessing, is likely going to be in the All-Star game. Perdomo from Arizona has had a fantastic year. Mookie Betts has not had a good year, but sometimes those guys make it anyway. But when you go down the list here, let me take a look at OPS from a shortstop. Jacob Wilson that's the A's, so that shouldn't matter. Our guy Dansby's 9th in OPS But let's look at here, National League All-Stars. CJ Abrams is definitely going to the All-Star game from the Nationals. I mentioned Perdomo. Trey Turner has turned it on and is on pace for a 200-hit season. Francisco Lindor is there. So it'll be interesting to see who makes it. Will Nico ever hit a home run? Hey, if Nico keeps on doing what he's doing, you let the other guys do that type of stuff. That's what's beautiful when you have a lineup that can do everything. Dustin Tucker, PCA Suzuki are going to be mentioned as the best players on this team, but we have to mention Carson Kelly. Where would this team be without some of his big hits in April? Yeah, that guy, my goodness. From a catching standpoint, here, he is technically not qualified, but from a catching standpoint, Carson Kelly, you're talking about guys that have played at least 30 games and have 100 at-bats, leads all catchers in OPS. It'd be impossible for him not to be an all-star right now, in my opinion. Impossible. What a great story, by the way. Maybe the Cubs have hit on a hitting coach in Dustin Kelly, and that's hoping to make a difference. Yeah. Tommy says PCA and Seiya. Pablo says blood has moved. Please tell me you've gone to the doctor. No, I have not gone to the doctor. I think I'm okay, Pablo. I think I'm okay. Although when I watch a show like The Pit with my wife, it makes me reconsider whether or not I should. All right. Speaking of places I have been to of late, Hooters. The great Hooters. OriginalHooters.com to visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. Had some tender tacos over the weekend with some cinnamon pretzel bites. So good. Had a Big Daddy mug. Put the order in at order.hooters.com. Had a Big Daddy mug with some Dos Equis. Feeling the weekend. It was good. Could have used some warmer weather. The Paloma remains the drink of the month for $8 for a couple more days here before we turn the calendar into June. Looking forward to that. Remember, originalhooters.com or order.hooters.com. Hooters, a proud partner of the REKAP Lunch Hour here with Guff every single Monday through Friday on the REKAP. Kyle, Dustin agreed. Not sure when this team would be without the great play from catchers. Jay, good afternoon, Sox. White Sox lost yesterday but are competing, so it's good to see. How do you think the Sox will use Teal and Carroll when they're both here? I think they'll use them both as catchers, and I think they'll use them possibly as, well, DHs as well. And then the question is, I don't know how long Andrew Vaughn's going to be in Charlotte, but I don't know if it's going to be a short stint. I can tell you that. And so we've seen Miguel Vargas be the first baseman, and I think that their team might be better that way. Right now, Andrew Vaughn, let's see, where's Andrew Vaughn? Has he started his assignment down there? Okay, he has not even had an at-bat yet. Oh, wait, hang on, my bad. Andrew Vaughn. Yeah, Andrew Vaughn, 1 for 8. So I would not expect anything to change of late. Andrew Vaughn down in Charlotte. Teal and Carroll, I think, could split the catching duty for now. It'll be interesting to see what Theis and what happens to Theis and Lee. I think trade is most likely. You got 4 catchers in the White Sox system. A really good problem to have. What does a PCA extension look like? Well, I think you're probably looking at like a Jackson Merrill minimum. Okay, so Merrill got 9 years, 135. I think PCA turned down something like that. I mean, I wouldn't, if I'm him, I'm looking at that contract to be where I'm starting my baseline if I'm Crow Armstrong's camp. Okay. This says the Cubs have previously discussed a long-term extension with offers up to $75 million from Bleacher Report. So that's changed now with Jackson Merrill. Seiya's done what the Cubs have asked him all season. He sacrificed some of the OBP for slug, and it's working out for the Cubs and working out for him. Amaya has been good before he got hurt. Wouldn't Tage Thompson look good with Mitch Marner in a Blackhawks uniform? Yes. I'm going to reach out to Boyle and see if we can get him on this week to answer your Blackhawks question. What if the White Sox pulled the New York Mets and stole Kyle Tucker this offseason? Psych. I don't anticipate, Eric, that happening. Could you imagine the White Sox going from a $75 million contract with Andrew Benintendi and now paying Kyle Tucker $400 or $500 million. That's laughable. Looking forward to PB coming on to give his opinion on the Jeff Blashill hire for the Hawks. I think it's an underrated hire based on past credentials. Said it before, got a raw deal when coaching Detroit. Dustin, had Amaya not gotten hurt, there's a legitimate shot both catchers could have made the All-Star game. As things stand right now, who would you say are the All-Stars for this team? Tucker, yes. Saya, yes. PCA, yes. Nico, Carson, and wait for it, Pomeranz. I don't think Drew Pomeranz will make it. I do like the story. Carson Kelly, yes. I think Dansby's probably more likely than Nico. Here's what, you know what? I think those four, take out Nico, and I think those four for sure are in. Frank Nazar looked awesome for Team USA. Might be the future captain of the Hawks. I think he led the USA in points, if I'm not mistaken. Lip, pretty good stuff. Kurt, you can borrow some of the weather in Tampa. It's 94 every day. Kurt, do whatever you can to overnight ship that weather up here. Chef, can we book our table now for the 24th at Hooters? It's the 25th, Chef. We'll have graphics for that soon. The 25th. Cubs playing at the Cardinals that night. It's become a pretty good game to have a viewing party for. It's also the NBA draft. Rinsel with the A and Bedard with the A. I'm worried about Porter Hodge, though. Not progressing is not good news. Hope his season isn't over. Yeah, that'd be a catastrophic blow for a Cubs team that absolutely needs back-end bullpen. I know it's not until next weekend, but the Cubs-Tiger series will definitely be off the chain. It could be dare I say, World Series preview? I mean, come on. PCA All-Star this year? I think so. He's been stellar. I think he is, Mark. I think the fans will vote like hell, too. A good fan base. He's going to be a guy that definitely gets a lot of votes. How about a playoff starting pitching rotation of Shota, Tyone, Cade Horton, and an acquisition TBD, Colin Ray and Matthew Boyd, bolster the bullpen. I'd like to see that acquisition TBD up there near Shota Imanaga's name. Playoffs? I'll send it for a Giordano's pizza and a PCA autograph. I wish you could guarantee the weather like that. That'd be funny. I could definitely send. We send you Lou Malnati's here, Kurt. Lou Malnati's is where we go every single day when we're talking about pizza in this fine town. Time for the bet of the day. All right. Gave out a plus money parlay yesterday. Quite frankly, I like it again. I got the Aviators on today. I'm not going to there. I'm not going to give it out as a pick. But with this series this week, the Cubs playing the Rockies at home, the White Sox at the Mets, Cubs run line, Mets money line feels good to me. Like, is there a reason you don't keep playing that? I put it in the old hopper before I came on. It's plus 130 again. So last night we get the win. It was a plus 130. So we're counting that puppy as we go above 5. We have guaranteed ourselves a winning month in May because we have 27, 8, 9, 30. And then it's Friday. So yeah, we have yesterday guaranteed us a winning month. But let's just go crazy and try to go 5-0 this week. So I'm not going Cubs or Sox today. I flirted with Cade Horton's over with strikeouts, but I'm going back to the NBA. I'm going back to the prop market with the Knicks and the Pacers. OG Anunoby has scored 16 points in every single game this series. And you go back to game, 6 against the Celtics, he scored 23. His total is 15.5. They're going to need more than Cat and Brunson. We know that. This team has needed it, and it's seen it, and we've gotten it. And I'm going to ride. I'm going to go with consistency here. OG Anunoby, over 15.5 points. He scored, I said, at least 16 in every single game this series. Yeah, you may have to sweat it a little bit, but I think he has become quite the role player and the guy that third guy for the Knicks they need. And they need to win tonight to keep this puppy going. Terry, my bet of the day, Godfather's not happy that the Cubs are under the luxury tax. Smash the over. You are guaranteed that is 100% accurate. Lip, who I know likes college baseball more than anybody else in this chat, college baseball regionals start Friday. Dustin, one name that has popped up as a potential trade target for the Cubs is Rays closer Pete Fairbanks. He's making just under $8 million this year, has an option for next year. Felix Bautista and Kyle Finnegan are also mentioned. Of those names, I really do like Fairbanks. Good name. We've talked about Felix Bautista here. We've talked about Kyle Finnegan. Finnegan's probably going to cost you more in in return, although Fairbanks may as well. The Cubs are good. Look, I really believe the Cubs will acquire a back-end closer type arm in the bullpen to back up Palencia, who looks every bit like a dude in the back end, but he's young. Are you afraid of that? Teams with young closers have gone on to win the World Series. You know, when K-Rod first came up, that guy came out of nowhere, was a stud closer. Bobby Jenks came up in the middle of the year. Sox rode him all the way to a World Series. Good name, Dustin, to throw out there. Cardinals -1.5 at +130 is what Lip Ripper's throwing out there. That sounds good. Throw that in a parlay with the Mets money line, the Cubs run line, and Anunoby's 15.5. You might be looking at 750, 8-1 there, Lip. If you throw those all in the hopper. Becky, do you think Tucker will stay in Chicago after this season? I think Tucker is going to give Chicago every opportunity to be here. How about that? I'm not going to guarantee anything. I think Cap has gone on record and said, save the receipt. He will be here. I will say that he will give the Cubs every opportunity to remain a Chicago Cub. There's the bet of the day. OG Anunoby, over 15.5 points. He's done it every game this series. Let's ride. Let's go 2-0 to start the week. It's been the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. For everyone at the Recap, have a great day. We got a lot of content to come. We have a Cubs Sox podcast dropping later, looking at the best players at each position over the last 25 years. Who is the best player at each position on both, not on both sides of town, combined? Who's been the best player? It's going to be a healthy debate. We have the Rush Hour, and we have the Cubs and Sox recaps later here on the channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. I would say enjoy the weather, but I think we're going to have to wait another week to take the hoodies off. We will see you tomorrow. It's been Friday. Yeah, kind of. There's some rain in the forecast. Next week for sure. Definitely the weekend. How about that? Let's get to the weekend. It's been the Recap Lunch Hour with me, Guff, Ryan McGuffey, brought to you by Hooters. Go to originalhooters.com to visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. Have a great day.